Chris here from Car Radios in Dorchester. Just recently we had this Audi TT Mk3 in for an audio upgrade. So the customer did supply a lot of the stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff was incorrect. So what we did was we supplied the Audison APK163 speakers for the front. We made some collars for those, which you'll see in a second. The Hertz CX165 coaxials for the rear, and the SR 4.300 amplifier to power the front and rear speakers. This gives you about 4 by 85 watts RMS per channel. So let's show you how we got on. So the front speakers, these were the three-way component speakers. You've got the woofer in the bottom of the door, the mid-range in the middle, and tweeter on the dash, which you'll see later. So that's the factory speaker. You can see it stood off from the door slightly, so we had to make some collars. Now the customer did supply us the collars, but they were the wrong ones, so we had to make some on the day. And you can see you've got the water guards, or they're called water guards, that sit between the collar and the speaker. It forms a nice seal between the speaker and the collar, but also you've got that sort of baffle seal against the door card, which channels the sound through the grille rather than rattling around inside the door. And with the collars, we added some Dynaliner, which makes a nice seal between the collar and what you're mounting it to. And when it tightens up, when you tighten the collar up against the panel, it kind of makes a nice seal as well. So this is the mid-range speaker. Unfortunately, we didn't get too many photos of this one, but you can see we used the Dynaliner to seal the mid-range against the collar that we made, and this all fits in behind the grille quite nicely. So the tweeter mounts in the original place on top of the dash. This is nut and bolted together to keep it nice and secure. This is behind the grille again, and the actual crossovers for these are mounted behind the speaker underneath, so you don't see anything at all, which is quite good. So the crossovers for the mid-range and the woofer, we mounted these onto the door card. So these, as you can see, they're cable tied up, nice and secure, so they don't rattle around. When you remove the door card, what we've done is we've added a little plug in there. So when you want to remove the door card, you simply just unplug the plug and away it comes. Plug the plug back in, put the door card back on. So the rear coaxial speakers, you can see in the picture there, it's actually components from factory. The customer wanted to go for coaxials, so we put the coaxials in. One interesting thing though that we found, that out of the factory, the panel work that goes over that speaker has a foam cover to it. So this is what the foam cover should look like. But this is what we found on the passenger side. So this from the factory hadn't been removed. So you might not have heard too much from that side. So just like the front speakers, we had to make the rear collars for the rear speakers. You can see we've added some more of the Dynaliner around. What we also do was added some of the Dodo sound deadening around the collar or the panel that the speaker mounts to try and stiffen it up quite a bit. I know there's no water in the back, but we also added those water guards to create that nice seal against the panel work. Channels sound through quite nicely. As you can see, there's no sound deadening as such behind the speaker, so we added some Dodo mat behind there as well. Pretty cool. So the amplifier went underneath the passenger seat at the front. There's quite a nice bit of space under there to mount the amplifier. So that had a bonded piece of wood down to the floor, and then the amplifier was screwed to it, so there's nothing protruding into the floor of the vehicle. And the battery cable went all the way through to the boot, following the original loom cabling, all cable tied in nice and neat. So if you've got a car, want an audio upgrade, give us a call.